warm welcome to Nosey Road. It's been led out today by match day mascot Jason Varley, big lad, 11 years of age. He attends her school at Hard Lane. His hobbies are swimming, wrestling, the WWF kind, but the size of him there, he'd better make a good wrestler, wouldn't he? And also supporting the Saints. A big day for this lad coming here. He's been full of it all week, telling everybody he's going to be the mascot at the Saints on Sunday. And a big day for this lad. He's out there just at the back of Shane Cooper. And another snippet from Jason. He doesn't like pie eaters. Well, that's me and him combined, and about another 7,000 or 8,000 Saints speckies here. The band just going off on the far side. And the Saints team this afternoon for you. David Lyon at full-back, Riley, Martin, Beavers and Quirk in the three-quarter line, Rapati and Griffiths, the half-back pairing, with Fogarty, O'Donnell and Mann in the front row, Pickervance, Nickel and Cooper the back three, Pickervance in with a late change, Chris Joint with an ankle injury. Steve Prescott at 14 and Ian Connor at 15. The Leigh side, full-back, Hanger, three-quarter line of... We all remember a similar situation last season. Leigh hadn't won a First Division League game until the Saints arrived at Hilton Park on November the 11th. A very wet and windy evening, the pitch like a ploughed field. Nothing surprises you, or nothing changes, does it, at Leigh? A new coach, Steve Sims, he was there assessing his new team. He must have been really pleased. Leigh won the game 11 points to 6. And obviously, my opinion, a lot of other opinions, that loss plus the loss at Hull, because everybody was beating Hull. Unfortunately, Saints went down 21-16, and those stick in your mind, don't they? They was very costly losses, and as we know, the Saints lost the division championship just on points. Anyway, we're underway. That's all history, last season's all history. Let's get underway and get stuck in. Leigh have possession. Obviously they'll be boosted by the fact that they beat Saints, even though it was at Hilton Park last season. But Leigh still in possession. Sonny Nickel back after a 2-match suspension. Also back John Griffiths there after a back injury. Tia Rapati, he's back at the standoff berth. Achilles injury. Last tackle of this sequence, referee Holsworth. Deep kick. David Lyon and Mike Riley. Well, Mike Riley just bounced awkwardly for him, but he took it well. Took a knock last week at Warrington. A possible doubt with a severe leg bruising. But Les Quirk from the opposite wing powers his way down. Obviously, these wingmen have been instructed to do a bit of roving. Adam Fogarty juggles with it, takes it well. John Neal also out. And didn't he have a good game last week, John Neal at Warrington? I bet Craig Teitzel knows all about it, doesn't he? So Sonny Nickel loses possession. Street tidies it up. Leigh have possession. That Teitzel just come from Australia. Neal hit him twice and he was well away, wasn't he? Heavily concussed, he's not playing today. Down and out for about 5 minutes. Somebody whispered in his ear, he said John Neal's on his way, and he was up like a shot. He was away. But Leigh have possession. Lee Hansen. That's acting half-back is Paul Rowley. Leigh spread it left. Donahue looking for the movers. Trying to bring the runners on. Well marshalled this time. Saints move up quickly. Chip kick through there. John Gunning sits up nice for David Lyon. David Lyon, one of 5 Saints players, named in the training squad, the 30-man squad, to play the Kiwis. Along with Alan Hunt, Chris Joint, Sonny Nickel and Bernard Dwyer. A welcome inclusion for Bernard Dwyer. He's out this afternoon with a damaged finger. Penalty this time to the Saints. I think it's Hansen going in on George Mann, holding him down in the tackle. And Pendlebury there just speaking out of turn. And another penalty to the Saints. 2 in quick succession. And John Holsworth just letting the players know, the Leigh players this time, that he won't stand any hanky-panky. You speak out a turn and you'll get marked another 10 metres. Fogarty now drives it up over the halfway line. Gus O'Donnell in at hooker today, takes up the acting half-back position. Ian Pickervance drafted into the starting 13 with Ian Connor on the bench. Cooper now moves it left, change of direction to George Mann. David Lyon sides his way through. Awkward ball, but Sonny Nicholl tidied it up. It was meant for Tirapati. He's back in after an Achilles injury. Adam Fogarty now. Pendlebury takes him down. The much travelled Pendlebury, played for quite a few clubs. George Mann inside to Cooper. Short ball to Rapati, but it's moved forward. Quick transfer into the ball. Probably a fair decision, but the quickness of the hand didn't deceive Mr. Holdsworth's eye then. Leigh come up with a scrum. They have possession. The midway between their own 20-metre line and the halfway line. Good yardage made there. The tackling will have to be firm. I thought Saints played with plenty of commitment at Warrington, but 2 errors at vital times cost Saints the game. Stand off there, John Gunning looking to spread the ball now with Pendlebury. Wily campaign of Pendlebury. Good ball handling forward in the veteran stages. He's played for Wigan, Halifax, Leigh. Few clubs, no doubt. But he's there and he's always one to have in your pack. Drop goal expert as well. Now Timmy Street. Powerful forward, gives it on to full-back Hanger. Nicholl brings him down. It's the last one of this sequence of 6. Donoghue puts a tester up. David Lyon comes for it. Didn't take his eye off the ball, but unfortunately he couldn't grab it. Leigh have possession. Hansen, the prop forward. Leigh Hansen. Leigh in a good attacking position. 10 yards from the line. Along the line now. Troy Clark sees the gap. Oh, can he scamper over? No, it's clattered down. He got up and went for it. The tackle wasn't effective, but the tackling came back and they held Leigh out. Testing time for the Saints. Put themselves under a lot of pressure there. Gus O'Donnell moves up quickly onto Donoghue, takes him down, but he gets the ball away. Full-back Hanger. Good attack by Leigh. Let's see if they can come away with points. Tim Street. Yes, it's going to be a try. Yes, the man touches down. Andy Collier. Second row forward. Saw the gap in the Saints defence and touched it down. 5 minutes of the game gone. Collier puts Leigh in the lead. Good attack by Leigh. A tester of a kick by Donoghue. Lyon couldn't field it. The ball came back to Hansen. Then it was spread over here to the left. Then it went back over to the right. And Collier running through there at pace. The Saints tacklers were there, but they couldn't hold him. 4-0 to Leigh. Early days yet. But after, as I said, Saints went down at Hilton Park, Leigh carried on to win 8 more games, drawing 2, and they finished 11th position with 20 points. Well out of the relegation zone. Let's see how they shape this season. Went down last week against Wakefield, 10 points to 4. Good kick there. Leigh now 6 points to 0 in the lead. Troy Clark with the conversion. So Saints up against it, early minutes, but could prove crucial. We're at the end of the game, who knows? Saints been ravaged with injury, but Rapati, Griffiths back, Nicholl back after suspension, Tony Sullivan still out, Kevin Ward, the old war horse, out, John Harrison, Bernard Dwyer and Chris Joynt out today. Struggling for 3/4. This young lad they've got on the bench, Steve Prescott, been having rave games in the A-team. In a couple of A-team games I've seen him play, he scored 6 tries, I think. Two hat-tricks and about 14 or 15 goals. He's a good pedigree. His dad, Eric, a firm favourite here at St Helens, and Eric must have made his debut the best part of 25 years ago. But it's Leigh in possession now. Donahue bringing the ball away, just brought down short of the halfway line. Pick of Vance and O'Donnell. The kick upfield. Tested again. Leigh putting Saints under a lot of pressure by penning them back. Will it go dead? Yes, it has. Pinning them back in their own 20-metre area. So Leigh moving up quickly. Saints just not organised. O'Donnell attacks in half-back. Brings Fogarty on. Down at the first tackle, Fogarty. As O'Donnell brings on Sonny Nicol. Sonny Nicol breaks through, looking for support. Lyon was on his left, couldn't release it, but there's a little bit of jiggery pokery in it. The tackle there, trying to steal the ball is the indication. Leigh are penalised. So David Lyon will find touch on the popular side. Gus O'Donnell now will restart. Fogarty first man in. And now Saints again. Cooper brings Mike Riley in, looking to bring the speed merchants in if they can break through on the first tackle and obviously pierce the Leigh defence. Now it's George Mann. Oh, George Mann, blistering run through, looking for support, crying out for support. George Mann, he was well tackled. He plays it quickly. Griffiths, Rapati, a line out for the Saints. It's chipped through. Cooper has it. It's all on again. Another 6 tackles with David Lyon just for the line. Can he touch down? He can. Saints bring a try or pull a try back. David Lyon there. Just over 10 minutes gone. Lyon finishes it off. Saints with an overlap here on the right-hand side. Cooper with a little chip kick through. He regained possession, fed it back inside. Plenty of support for the Saints. You can see the urgency. And Lyon took it well. He looks as though he was well tackled, but his strength took him over. He touched down. Referee Oldsworth was right there. He awarded the try, and now we'll see if Tommy Martin can pop this one over. Rapati, the only one on show that's a try scorer this season. Unfortunately, the other try scorers are out injured. Tony Sullivan, Chris Joynt and Bernard Dwyer. Well, I don't know if there's any... Well, it looks as though there's a bit of breeze out, and referee Oldsworth was on about calling Jonathan Griffiths up to hold the ball. With Tommy Martin having it sat up there. Excellent kicker, Martin. Put some lift in him. Well, they all count, don't they? In off the left-hand post. Saints back on level terms. Six points apiece. Tommy Martin's 6th goal of the season. The regular goal kicker, oh well, if you can say regular goal kicker, Paul Loughlin, out injured, sprung shoulder, hoping to play next week at Castleford, and that's a tough game, isn't it? It's a good while since we've won at Castleford. We should have won the other season when we had an 8-8 draw. Saints came up with, and he was robbed that day. Of course, you wouldn't expect me to say anything else, would you? But Leigh penalised, kicking the ball directly dead. David Lyon got a kick over to the popular side. A good kick from Lyon there. Making 15 yards, 15 metres. Rapati on the dummy run, and George Mann block busts up to the 20-metre line. Good attacking position for the Saints, and they've got to make it count. Went behind to a 5th minute try by Leigh. Collier went over. Saints have hit back. They're on level terms now. John Griffiths. John Griffiths carves his way through, creates a gap. It's on to Riley. Oh, super try. Super try from Riley, and isn't Tommy Martin pleased about that? But John Griffiths heavily involved. John Griffiths heavily involved. There's Griffiths and O'Donnell there, and they don't half get some running in when they're on this park. They moved well there, John Griffiths. Drew the defence in, created the gap, slipped it out to Tommy Martin. He took it over to Mike Riley, and Riley did well. He rode in well, touchdown. What can we say? 10 metres in, 10 metres in from the popular side stand. Extends the Saints lead to 10 points to 6, and this conversion to come. So Mike Riley's first try of the season. Tommy Martin looking for his second conversion. No, just away to the left. So just that 4-point cushion for the Saints. 2 tries, Lyon and Riley, 1 Martin goal. Saints in the lead for the first time, 14 minutes of the match gone. Last season against Leigh, as I've told you before, we lost at Tilton Park 11 points to 6, but we give them a good idea when they come up here, 64 points to 9. Saints get possession from the kick-off. Solid running by the Saints, and that's what you've got to do, run hard at this opposition. Riley in again, now it's with Sonny Nicholl. Sent off at Hull Kingston Rovers in the opening match of the season, along with Alan Hunt. Hunt, his last match against Castleford next week. Quick hands by the Saints, John Griffiths. Working his way through. Took a knock in the Salford match, did John Griffiths. At the bottom of his back, a nasty knock. Kept him out of the Warrington game last week. Saints still in possession, moving it left. Ian Pickabans takes the tackle. It's the last one of the sequence, indicated by referee Holdsworth's stretched left hand. Gus O'Donnell into space. O'Donnell tries to chip it again. Is it all on? It is all on, but Leigh have possession. Pickabans follows it up, completes the tackle. Leigh very slow getting back on side. Saints will have to move up quickly, pressurise them. Hold them back, only solid tackling will be the order of the day. Mike McLennan with 100% commitment. Saints starting off very slow. Saints penalised there for holding the man's leg. I think it was John Griffiths. Griffiths and Fogarty there. And the wingman, Simon Booth, went in field, had his leg held. Saints penalised. Standoff, John Gunning finds touch on the popular side. Leigh to restart, Lee Hansen. Taken down well there, Adam Fogarty quickly in, along with Ian Pickabans. Tim Street, block busting forward Street. Ex-Wigan player, well on Wigan's boots anyway, now here's Pendlebury. Pendlebury, the scorer of the drop goal when he played for Halifax, that cost Saints the cup in '87. Certainly the pass there looked to him forward, but Leigh within striking distance again. Donahue, Gunning, gets the ball away there. Troy Clark, last tackle of the sequence. Leigh put the pressure on again. Donahue puts a test. Oh, well, a quick hands here. Can Les Quirk get going? Can he outpace the defence? He's on his way, he's Quirk. He has to dummy back inside. He beats the tackle. Good cover by Leigh, but Phil Beavers put Quirk away. Well, that's kicked through though. It's gone into touch. Courtesy or via a Leigh boot. So it's going to be a scrum down with a Saints feed. Just couldn't get into his stride quickly enough, Les Quirk. The clock stopped. The Leigh physio just treating Jason Donahue just below us. Obviously he's an integral part of the scrum. Got to make sure he feeds the second row, hasn't he? So we've got to wait for him to be treated. Griffiths now, bringing the ball away, draws the man, spins on Rapati. Tremendous upper body strength, Rapati. Now it's with Griffiths along the line. Beavers, short ball to Lyon. Lyon wants a quick play of the ball, and the man's holding him down. He's going to be penalised for it, and rightly so. Troy Clark there wouldn't let the man up. Tommy Martin's going to be asked to go for goal. Yes, Shane Cooper has told him that we'll hopefully get the 2 points. While Tommy Martin's teeing up, I've got a couple of belated birthday mentions. Andrew Guilford, he was 11 years old on the 13th of September. I was talking to him last week in the club shop where he was just getting his presents. I know he's got a new away jersey. Best wishes for your birthday, Andrew. Love from Mum, Dad and Sarah. And also it's your dad's birthday the day after, the 14th of September. That's Dad Nige. He's 21 plus, so I've been told. Lots of love from your wife Audrey, also Andrew and Sarah, and best wishes to both of you from your Saints video team. So Andrew Guilford and Dad Nige, birthdays days apart, 11 and 21 plus. Best wishes to you both. Tommy Martin gets it right between the uprights this time. 19 minutes on the clock. Martin with his second. He penalises the Leigh indiscretion, gets his second of the afternoon, and Saints with a 6-point cushion, 12 points to 6 in the lead. Leigh unlucky, as I've said before, at home to Wakefield last week, 10 points to 4 they went down. Well, Saints going down 17 points to 10 at Wilderspool. 2 indiscretions on the 6th tattle there at Wilderspool. Fogarty loses possession, Collier snaps it up. It puts Leigh back in possession. There's 20 minutes gone, and Leigh only with the 1 try, but they've put a lot of pressure on the Saints in their own 20-metre area. Lee Hansen running hard and strong, hauled down by 3 Saints players. Pickermans Nickel and John Griffiths. Tim Street. Obviously Leigh with limited resources. I believe they have got the ground at Tilton Park for the rest of the season, but that was a bit of a wrangle. We're not knowing where you're playing, and obviously strapped for cash as well. But Steve Sims done a good job there at with the Hilton Park outfit. Last tackle of the sequence, Donoghue puts a tester up, but it's bounced back, and now Mike Riley has it. Can he go down this? Oh, solid tackle there, super tackle by Simon Booth. Got Riley in full flight and clattered him down. Big lad this Booth as well. Well, solid tackling by the Leigh outfit. Collier and Hansen. Now George Mann gets it away to John Griffiths. Out to Tommy Martin, but the ball squirted out and Leigh have possession. Donoghue at dummy half. Loose forward. Scott Martin. He's brought down short, but it's Leigh again. Tim Street. Fiery forward. Excellent ball handling forward is Street. Acting half-back Paul Rowley. Now with Hansen. Leigh running hard and strong, but the ball got away there. Nickel coming in the tackle. Donoghue going on his own. Well, the man who scored there. He's steaming that man, and he's offside. It was Hanger, the full-back. Mike Riley taking it on the full in the in-goal area. He'll start with a tap from the centre of the 20-metre line. But Hanger there, he should have been onto that. Or should I say, Donoghue should have released it. Now with Pickermans. Yeah, Donoghue, if he'd have released it, Hanger would have scooted in. Saints move it left. Quick hands, John Griffiths. Inside ball now. Les Quirk has it. Good tackling by Leigh. But Saints take the tap quickly and move up. Sonny Nickel. Hard, strong runner. Gets it away to Beavers. Back now to Fogarty. Fogarty to Cooper. Cooper brings on Tommy Martin. He loses his footing. Saints moving upfield. 30 metres from the Leigh try line. Ian Pickavance. John Holdsworth shouting to Leigh to get back on side. That was the fourth tackle, he said. Now it's Griffiths. Well taken by Gus O'Donnell. Got a loose pass. Saints get tangled up. Sonny Nicol comes up with it. It's going to be the last tackle. The Saints looking sharp. Nicol took a knock in the tackle when he went down for that ball. Last tackle of the sequence. The ball's with Beavers. He puts a tester up. Let's see the Saints follow this one up. Oh, well taken. And Beavers first man in. On Dean Hanger. And Hanger knew about that one, didn't he? Beavers in again. He marks up with George Mann. Leigh have possession. They're trailing by 12 points to 6. 24 minutes gone. Hanson bursting through. Fogarty taking a knock there. Took a stray boot off Hanson. Pendlebury to Street. He can't take it. Saints have possession. Ian Pickavance has it. Pickavance rampaging through. Pumping those big legs. Cooper now. Takes a solid tackle from Pendlebury. George Mann in possession and cries for get him on side from below us. Warrington all offside last week, lying up very well, but these teams are going to do it as long as they're getting away with it, aren't they? Tirapati couldn't take it. Tommy Martin chips it forward. The referee just looking for an advantage there, but Adam Fogarty being substituted by Ian Connor. Now whether it's a blood bin substitution, I didn't see the sign, I just saw Connor coming on, but 25 minutes gone. So Fogarty off. After 25 minutes, Connor on. Come back well, played well in the A-team the other night, did Ian Connor. He's had cartilage problems, he's had a double hernia operation. He came from the Swinton club. Always handy to have in your side. Puts everything into it. But I just hope that young Steve Prescott gets a run out. Superb performances in the A-team, and let's hope he can break through into the ranks with the big boys. Connor on there, completes the tackle. Timmy Street, Nicol and Cooper hold him in the tackle. Leigh move it left. Donahue grubbers it through. It's going to go touching goal, is it? No, David Lyon has to play it. Lyon, is he in the field of play? No, he's taken in the in-goal area. So referee Holdsworth says anyway. In the in-goal area, and Saints supposed to drop out from between the sticks. Good tactical kick in there from Donahue, putting pressure on Saints. An unfavourable bounce as far as Saints are concerned, because obviously David Lyon was hoping it had bounced dead. It didn't. Leigh get possession back. Right wing man David Hill. Leigh Hanson. Well, he's lost possession. Saints snap it up. The ball's gone back. Can Saints come up with possession? Well, surely it's going to be a knock on. The first knock on. Saints have not got possession. The scrum down is going to be formed. And Leigh had the feed. Well, he must have considered that Saints did gain possession. And Leigh moving it quickly. Another debating point. Nothing new, is it, for Mr. Holdsworth? Scott Martin trying to scamper away, 20 metres short of the Saints line. Leigh in possession, acting half back is Rowley. Now with Street. We've got to get 2 and 3 men in on this Street. Take him round the legs and round the top. Stop him releasing the ball. Gunning onto Pendlebury. Pendlebury siding his way through. He flicks it back to Rowley. Looking for support. He gets it away there to Donoghue. So Leigh, not frightened of throwing the ball away, pressing on the Saints line now. Pendlebury. Support there. Now with Collier. Can he go in for his second? He's inches short. The last one of the sequence. Saints will have to be on the guard. We know what happened at Wilderspool last week. Well, it hit Nichol's foot. It was chipped through. And a clash of heads there, I think. Nichol involved. Saints physio Jeanette Smith quickly on, as is the Leigh physio. I think it's Andy Collier that's injured along with Sonny Nichol. No, it's not Andy Collier, he's there just to the right of me. Jason Donoghue it was. Jason Donoghue taking the knock along with Sonny Nichol. After they went for that ball, both of the players. But a lot of concern in the Saints camp over Sonny Nichol. Looks as though he's come off the worst. Oh, he's up and about, tough lad. But Leigh again. Laying up the platform. Hanson has the ball. Pick of Hanson, Cooper. Donoghue on the dummy run. Onto Street. Plan move there. Obviously a Leigh plan move. Right in front of the sticks. Leigh still in possession. Trailing by 12 points to 6. Looking to get back on level terms. Donoghue along the line. Pendlebury. Throws it out. Loose ball. Leigh come up with possession. He was fortunate to get another 6 tackles after the ball was chipped through. It hit Sonny Nichols the leg. Came back to a Leigh player. And it's released and knocked forward. And the Leigh man kicks it dead. So it's going to be a dropout. A tap. Restart, I would imagine. Centre of the 20-metre area. But no, he's bringing it for the knock-on. Bringing the ball back for the knock-on. Saints feed. John Griffiths to feed. 10 metres away from the Saints line. Griffiths brings it blindside. Beats one. Tries to draw the Leigh defence. Exciting play of Griffiths. Both Griffiths and Gus O'Donnell vying for the scrum half position. You know, O'Donnell's in at the hooking role today with the injury to Bernard Dwyer. Saints get away with that. Pickavance gathers it. Well, 2 loose balls there, but all's right in the end. Saints come up with possession. They're trying to keep the ball going, obviously. Well, over enthusiastic at the tackling there. But Sonny Nichol has it now for the Saints. Just short of the halfway line. Saints in possession, the last tackle of the sequence, and 9 minutes remaining of the game. It's back to Rapati. David Hill takes it. He comes crossfield, but he can't get between Connor and George Mann. Dean Hanger from the full-back position. Well, Shane Cooper went in. He's penalised Cooper for a high tackle, but I'm sure he had hold of his shirt there. Looks as though he was lifting his shirt up as he came through, but I suppose that's what they say is the ruling. But if you get hold of his shirt and twist him round, Hanger, nothing wrong with him at all, but Saints have been penalised. Good display by this Leigh outfit. Put a lot of pressure on the Saints, even though Saints have 2 tries, 2 goals to 1. Tim Street brings it down, centre field on the 20-metre line. Quickness of the hand there as Leigh bring it on. Hanger in again. Looks a very useful player, this Hanger. Links up well with the back division at every available opportunity. 8 minutes to the interval, 12-6 in favour of Saints. Donoghue out to Pendlebury. John Holdsworth getting the Saints back on side. Now it's with Tim Street. Taken down at the first tackle. Well, he's lost. Well, that should be... oh no, he was going to... That was the 5th tackle, wasn't it? Going to get 10 minutes in the sin bin for this. He knocked it forward. He didn't like the decision that Holdsworth said he knocked it forward. Then he said something out of turn, and then he kind of threw the ball in referee Holdsworth's direction. Fiery campaignery street, we know he can do it. He's got some excellent rugby skills, but he's penalised there. I was going to say it should have been a turnover, but he was just indicating referee Holdsworth that it was the last tackle, going to come up for the last tackle. He lost the ball after he played the ball, and then just remonstrated a little with the referee. It's all right remonstrating with him, but you've not got to do it in earshot, have you? Les Quirk coming in now to the call from the left wing. Tim Street all over him. Gus O'Donnell bringing on Sonny Nicol. Takes two defenders with him. O'Donnell, George Mann along to Shane Cooper. Good ball to Beavers. Beavers again into space. Rapati's with him. Super ball to Rapati. Yes, he's over. Oh, he said he's knocked it forward. He said it's no try. But it looks as though he's took a knock to Rapati as well. But he must have lost possession over the in-goal area. Over the try line in the in-goal area. Oh, a chance there. Beavers creating that chance. Super work by Beavers. He was instrumental in that Anthony Sullivan try last week at Warrington. Took a lovely ball from Cooper, drew the defence in onto David Lyon, and Sullivan finished. He did it again there, but Rapati spilled it. Adam Fogarty on the touchline, waiting to get back in the action. Obviously it was a blood bin replacement. He's been off 10 minutes. Saints do have 15 minutes to patch the players up. Ian Connor comes off. Stood in well for Fogarty. Earns a well-earned round of applause. Hanger, this lively full-back. Last tackle of the sequence. Rowley on to Donoghue. Crossfield kick. Putting Quirk under a little bit of pressure. Just glanced off his thigh. And Les Quirk went back and gathered it. Tried to bulldoze his way through Tony Hall, but couldn't manage it. Hill Beavers down the main stand touchline here at Nosey Road. And certainly the tackling a little ferocious on the far side. Mind you, it is the high collision body contact sport. We all like the grunts and groans, don't we? (12-6). Saints in the lead. 5 minutes to the interval. George Mann breaks through. Beavers over the top to Les Quirk. Looking sharp on that left wing. Quirk and Beavers. A little chip kick through there by Martin. Gus O'Donnell following it up. Leigh gathered the ball, but O'Donnell completed the tackle. Fogarty now back on after 10 minutes in the blood bin. Nicol and Pickavance forced the man back. Saints looking for a little more effort. Saints spectators looking for a little more effort. Pendlebury slips it out. The ball not forward, says referee Holdsworth. Looks as though it should come back from this angle. But we'll not argue with that, will we? Scrum down, Saints feed. Griffiths feeds. Cooper flicks it up to Rapati. He sees the gap, he drives for it. Loses his foot in. Saints again, move it left. Lyon linking up. Beavers again. Excellent player to have in your side, Beavers. He's in his 10th season here at St Helens. Just signed a 1-year contract. Fitting in at the centre. Play anywhere, Beavers. Long ball there, George Mann takes it. Out to Tommy Martin. Go, good ball to Mike Riley. Well, Troy Clark rolls off him this time. Saints move it quickly. O'Donnell, Cooper, good ball there to David Lyon. David Lyon with 2 men on his left. But Lyon looking for support inside to Rapati. He doesn't make any mistake this time, I hope. No, there it is, between the uprights. That's what we were waiting for. 2 minutes to the interval. Rapati in for his second of the season. And the third of the match. David Lyon linked up well there. Saints with a two-man overlap on the left. Caught Leigh cold with David Lyon making the extra man. He was looking for support on the inside. Rapati took it cleanly and didn't make any mistake this time. Touched down between the uprights. And Tommy Martin's conversion will give the Saints that 12-point cushion now. Excellent time to score just before the interval. The flags go up. Martin's third of the afternoon, and we're well away. And no doubt this afternoon's matchday mascot, Jason Varley, he'll be pleased with the team's performance, especially coming back there with that try from Rapati. Paul Loughlin and Cooper were Jason's favourite players. He'll have had his picture taken with them before, hopefully. He was out there with Shane Cooper, obviously with Shane being the captain, before the match started. And Saints with a 12-point cushion, 18 points to 6. Mike Riley comes in, Rowley and the prop forward, Hansen, hold him down. Now it's with Sonny Nicol. Well, Leigh moving up, all offside. Well, Tommy Martin, quick hands, tried to get things underway. George Mann to Tommy Martin, meant for Mike Riley. Looks as though he'd slightly overrun it. It may have been an awkward pass. Obviously the quickness of the pass was essential there to try and get the Saints underway. Donoghue feeds it, loose forward. Scott Martin comes up with the ball, brings it blindside, and Leigh looking for it. Well, Hansen loses it, Saints come up with it. O'Donnell onto Lyon, and Saints move it left again. Overlap on the left for the Saints. It's with Beavers. Superb drive from Beavers up to Les Quirk. Well, it looks as though that was a little high one there by David Hill on Les Quirk. But the quick on that left flank of the Saints. Ian Pickavance backing into the defence. Shane Cooper organising his troops. Looking for another score now before the interval. John Griffiths, Adam Fogarty. Nicol in support. Fogarty couldn't release. Good clamp tackle there. George Mann running out wide. Played for Leigh before joining St Helens, did George. Many moons ago. Rapati along the line. Beavers. Last tackle of the sequence. Tommy Martin at dummy half. Inside to Rapati. The Saints penalised. Sure, he's done Shane Cooper for running in an offside position. Rapati kicked it through. It must have hit Shane Cooper. Well, that's not a very good kick unless it gets a favourable bounce, which it does. Dying seconds of the game. Nearly 2 minutes of stoppage time played. Leigh fine touch on the far side, and there's the final, well, the half-time hooter, I should say, with Leigh putting a little bit of pressure on the Saints, so very welcome half-time hooter. Leigh opened the scoring in the 5th minute with a Collier try, converted by Clark. 6-0 in the lead. It took Saints 5 minutes to come back. A Lyon try, goal by Martin, then a Mike Riley try. 3 minutes later, Tommy Martin try. 6 minutes, Tommy Martin penalty goal. 6 minutes later, and just a couple of minutes before the interval, Rapati going in. The try converted by Martin. 18 points to 6. The half-time score. Join us shortly for the second half. After this Stones bitter First Division League clash here at Nosey Road, Leigh still looking for the first league points. But Saints are in the lead by 18 points to 6, and they'll be looking to extend that lead throughout the next 40 minutes. No doubt the riot act will have been read at half-time by Mike McLennan and Steve Sims, the Leigh coach. He'll have been doing his ranting and raving maybe. Mind you, Australian and a New Zealander, they're probably nice and calm and what have you. The band just going off on the far side. The Leigh side are going to kick off, playing down to the clubhouse end, the sponsors' boxes, the restaurant end. Hope you're all well there in the sponsors' boxes, also the boardroom. Sorry about the picture quality, I do believe we have a slight technical hitch. You've got to think about saying that, haven't you? But anyway, we're off. Tommy Martin takes it on the full, brings in Mike Riley. Mike Riley just taken there by Rowley. Good job he was too. But Saints running it up, moving up in a line. Fogarty. Sonny Nickel on his left. Collier brings him down. O'Donnell brings the ball blindside. George Mann now. Well taken down just to the right of our commentary position. But O'Donnell again chips it through. But David Hill took it. Now it's moved along. Dean Hanger. Saints urge to line out. Leigh spreading it. Pendlebury tries to straighten up. Cooper and Fogarty complete the tackling. Short ball to, we're going to say Brendan Hill then. Tim Street. Short ball to Tim Street. He's well taken down. Solid Saints defence. Leigh trying the short ball, but not getting much joy with it. Last tackle of the sequence. It's on to John Gunning. Lofts a high one. David Lyon takes it comfortably. Brings it over to the Les Quirk wing. Gives it Les. He has to go back infield on the opposite diagonal. But the tackle is completed. Andy Collier moved in quickly. Solid running. Ian Pickermans, Beavers at dummy half. Good tackling by Leigh in the early minutes. Adam Fogarty pushes Street out of the way, but two tacklers wrap him up. Russ O'Donnell brings in Tirapati. Well, that's a bit high, isn't it? If Cooper was penalised for one earlier on, I'm sure that was worth being penalised for. The last tackle of the sequence. O'Donnell chips it upfield. Good kick by O'Donnell. Fine touch, about 10 metres. Yes, 10 metres from the Leigh line. Scrum down with a Leigh feed. 18-6 to half-time score. No further addition. 2.5 minutes of the half gone. Jason Donoghue will feed on the far side for scrum of the second half. And Leigh come up with possession. Saints will have to hold them up there. Or try to hold them anyway. Cooper on to Hanger. But Leigh still in possession. Looking for yardage. Pickermans and Mann complete the tackle on Hansen. Collier taken down. Good tackling by the Saints. Donoghue looks for the half gap. Just evades the tackle there. Going to be the last one of the sequence now. It is. Gunning chips it through. Looking for touch on the far side. Mike Riley takes it comfortably. That certainly wasn't 10 metres. But was Gunning one of the... No, Gunning wasn't one of the three that were there. So Mike Riley should feel aggrieved there. He didn't get 10 metres. The referee was there and he let play go on. The ball's loose. Hanson and Collier in the tackle on Fogarty, and the ball came loose. Gus O'Donnell went to pick it up, but the referee indicating the knock-on, the scrum down, Donoghue to feed, 20 metres away from the Saints line. Saints defence tested for the first time. It's Hanger there again. Well, nothing more than we can expect, is it? Hanger goes in for the try. Obviously a planned move, but you could see that coming off all the way, couldn't you? Lively full-back Hanger. Donoghue from the base of the scrum. They took it to the left. Hanger linked up well there, and the Saints defence was caught cold. He's looked very sharp all through the match as Hanger. Deserved that try. Good planned move by Leigh. And Shane Cooper will be reading the riot act to the back of the sticks there. Troy Clark, we think it is, with the conversion on the 20-metre line, 10 metres in from the main stand side. So Leigh coming back into it. Early score for them. Scored in the 5th minute of the first half. Now all on the 5th minute of the second half. Scott Martin looking to hold the ball. The breeze blowing down to the clubhouse end, obviously blowing the bit of breeze. So Troy Clark looking to add the extras on. 18 points to 10 the score at present, with this kick to come. Waved away there. 18-10 the score. Tirapati will restart from the centre spot. Shane Cooper will have tried to instill some organisation in his troops at the back of the sticks. But good running, good early running by Leigh. Drove up well. Good try from the base of the scrum. Loose play there by Leigh. Saints couldn't gather possession. Andy Collier coming through, spilled the ball, regathered it, but he'd knocked it forward, and now a chance for Saints. Tommy Martin moving over to the right wing. Riley was there, Griffiths was there. Tirapati running on the short side. Saints know what they've got to do. They've got to extend this lead. Quick hands, pick of hands. Tries to straighten up. Breaks through Collier's tackle. Got Tim Street, one of the tacklers, in there. Along with the hooker, Rowley. And Hanson looked as though he just took a knock. He's up now. Adam Fogarty. Straight in. We're certainly missing the block-busting runs of Kevin Ward. George Mann, Beavers. Gets it away to Griffiths, into space. Good strength from Griffiths there. Tried to force the tacklers off. Last one of this sequence now. Gus O'Donnell chips it through. The wingman, is it Collier that takes him? Well, clash of heads there. Saints player, I think it's Gus O'Donnell, that's gone in and got a knock round the head. Saints physio Jeanette Smith there to treat him quickly. But you saw O'Donnell's head shake back as he went in. Referee Holdsworth right on the job, but he's all right now. Hanson bringing the ball away from Leigh. Saints smother tactics there. They'll have to get up there, force the man back if they can. Solid tackling by the Saints. Got to try and put the opposition off the game. Fogarty, Beavers completes the tackle. Last one of the sequence. Donoghue gets his kick away. It was crossfield. Riley takes it in the field of play. Looks for that gap. Tommy Martin moves up attacking halfback. Now it's Tia Rapati, looking for a bit of Rapati magic this afternoon. A never present last season, but out injured for the last couple of matches. Well, Leigh all offside on the referee's right, but he looks, he points, he doesn't penalise. Very hard to play against this sliding up defence. Cooper and Griffiths. Short ball to Lyon, linking up again. Last one of the sequence for the Saints. Griffiths grubbers it through. Looking for an error in the Leigh camp. But Leigh come up with possession, and David Lyon, he's taking a knock on the far side. Cooper moving up quickly. Closing the Leigh attack down. Cooper in again. But Hansen just breaks clear. Tim Street for Leigh. They're trailing by 18 points to 10. George Mann bangs him to the ground right on the 20-metre line. And Andy Collier. Good work by Collier, good driving. Powers through, last tackle for Leigh. Pendlebury. Well, Pendlebury throws it away, Street plays on, but it's going to be the turnover, the changeover. Would it be in the last tackle? Saints play it. Tia Rapati feeds it inside to Phil Beavers. On to Cooper. Cooper can't take it. Donahue comes up with it. So Saints ball handling skills just not sticking this afternoon. Scott Martin moves it over there. Now it's with this Simon Booth, this lofty wingman. Short ball to Tim Street. Support there from Rowley. He beats George Mann's tackle. He drives for the corner. David Lyon wraps him up. Good yardage by Leigh. 11 minutes of the half gone. 18-10. Saints are in the lead. And they're going to be stretched here by Leigh. Collier. Back to Pendlebury. Oh, super tackle by Quirk. Clamp tackles David Hill. Coming off the left wing over to this, off the right wing there, I should say. Coming in. A tester. Leigh still have possession. Scott Martin lost his footing, picked it up, drove up. The turnover, the last tackle there. Touched the Leigh man, it was a tester. Let it come down with a bit of snow on it, that. But it came back to Leigh without touching a Saints player. Rowley there, he's took a knock to the head. But now it's with Sonny Nicol. Solid tackling there by Leigh. Trying to force Saints back. And obviously doing a good job. Moving up exceptionally quickly. And the gang tackling out there. 3, 4 and 5 men into the tackle. And that's how tackling should be. Gus O'Donnell clears the ranks. Can he gather it? He does, but Gus O'Donnell leads the charge. They take the man and they want to quick play the ball here. Get him to ground, get him up and play the ball, and Leigh a stretch. They're not back in numbers. Come on, you Saints, is the cry, especially from the popular side faithful just below us. A very poor start to the season as far as Saints are concerned. We can't afford to lose many games. Well, that's an offside decision. It's a penalty to the Saints. It's an accidental offside. Yes, offside indicated there by referee Holdsworth. And Saints will go for goal after you. No, wrong again. David Lyon's going to kick for touch. Onto the main stand side. And finds touch just outside the 20-metre area. An ideal platform for the Saints to build if we can just get through a full set of 6. O'Donnell at dummy half. Man back to Cooper, out to Sonny Nicol. Sonny Nicol running. But a good tackle there, excellent tackle by Leigh. David Lyon to Cooper, back to Rapati. Rapati still driving, pushing towards the line. Saints looking for a score. O'Donnell out to Cooper, inside ball to Mann. Shrugs the first line of defence off, spreads the ball to Tommy Martin. Well, looked a little high that on Martin, but nothing from the touch judge and nothing from the referee, and he was right there. That certainly looked a little bit naughty. The crowd told the officials, but the officials didn't do anything about it. And a chance now for Steve Prescott. Saints substitute back to limber up. 14 minutes of the second half have elapsed. Leigh are the only scorers. A hanger try in the 4th minute reduced the deficit to 18 points to 10 for Leigh anyway. But Tommy Martin looks a bit groggy. But he's all right now, he plays the ball. Saints driving for the line. George Mann attacked in half-back, Rapati chips it through. Well, Hanger has to kick it dead. That's a drop out from between the sticks. Rapati looked as though he was impeded as he went for it. The idea was right, chip it through, but Hanger had to make sure. And Leigh are going to drop out from between the sticks. Saints are hopefully going to gather the ball cleanly and put a little bit more pressure on this Leigh outfit. David Lyon, it sits up nicely for him. Moves it over to the right. Mike Riley. Oh, that was a high one, wasn't it? And he's picked that one out too. Lee Hansen with a high tackle. Tim Street right on the referee's shoulder there, probably whispering in his ear. Pendlebury's there as well, and he's saying the man ducked as he went into the tackle. Doesn't matter whether he ducked or he didn't duck. He was taken high. Tommy Martin being asked to tag the extra 2 points on, if he can. 18-10 the score. Connor just going on there as Sandman. Right leg, right knee strapped there, as you can see. Had a cartilage operation, and as I said before, also he had a double hernia operation. Does nothing by halves, Connor, does he? Martin lofts it high, but it goes to the right of the sticks. Waved away by the touch judges, but the Saints will come up with possession. A tough tie away at Castleford next Sunday. That's next on the menu anyway. Here Rapati gathers it safely, drives up. Pendlebury brings him down, and Sonny Nicholl takes up the acting half-back position. Moves to the left, then to the right, drives through, takes some pulling down, does Nicholl. Glad to get him back in the forwards. Fogarty. Well, Street going in there. The second phase of the tackle, as they call it now, the flopper. But Saints move it left. Gus O'Donnell took it well, on to Cooper. Looking for support. But he's taken down, Collier comes in, Smother tackles him. Last one of the sequence. Tommy Martin chips it. Donahue takes it, and Martin takes him. So good running by Tommy Martin on the sixth tackle. Now with Tony Hall just brought down outside the 20-metre area. Big prop, Leigh Hansen, run well in the Leigh pack this afternoon. For 18-10 the score, 18 minutes of the second half gone. Tim Street. Saints with not a lot of attacking chances. Leigh looking very sharp when they get in the Saints 20-metre area. And it's up to the Saints to ensure that they don't get in that area. But it's the last tackle of the sequence. Leigh chipped the ball downfield. David Lyon will take it. Gunning chipped it through. Gunning run up this time, make sure all the players were onside. And Les Quirk scampers away from acting half-back. Rowley has his legs. Tim Street lying all over him. Leigh moving up on the referee's left. Pickavance taken down by 3. Smother tackling by Leigh. Saints bring it blindside. Fogarty straightens up. O'Donnell to Martin. He chips it crossfield for the corner. Booth takes it well. Rapati comes up, taps his ankles. Leigh in possession. Troy Clark, well, he loses it. The ball's knocked forward. Scrum down, Saints speed. Very sluggish second half as far as the Saints are concerned. Leigh with the only score. Hanger try right from the base of the scrum. 3/4 way through this match, 20 minutes remaining. John Griffiths will feed. Saints have scrum possession. Rapati and Griffiths work the loop movement. Lyon links up. Releases the ball to Phil Beavers. Support coming on the left for Beavers. Beavers gets quirked the ball and he's going to go in field. He gets it away. Unfortunately, Mike Riley couldn't take it. Saints looking to spread it, obviously know the urgency. But it didn't come off for him. So unfortunately, a lot of errors slipping into the game. Donohue's going to feed this scrum. The right centre, Tony Hall, just receiving treatment. Looks as though he's either got a bit of cramp or he's got damage to that left knee, which is strapped. But it looks as though he's going to be coming off. Yes, Tony Hall coming off. And Stuart Pugsley will be introduced. Still waiting for the substitute to come on. The referee holding the clock. No, beg your pardon. It's Simon Baldwin that's coming on. The 61st minute. Baldwin in at lock. Scott Martin into the centre. Leigh have possession. Lee Hansen. George Mann brings him down. Kiwi trio over there. Baldwin in for his first touch and George Mann quickly in. Snuffs him out. Tim Street. Block busting forward, still going. Not the biggest of stature, but he can't half move through there. Looks as though he just took a knock. Pendlebury. Wily campaigner. Last one of the sequence for Leigh. Yes, Jason Donohue chips it. David Lyon beats Donohue and Lyon drives upfield. Quite a lot of the players losing the footing. Riley. Crossfield run. Well, Street there. It certainly looks as though he stamped on him. The officials here just may have looked worse than it actually was, but Pickavance has possession. Throws it anywhere and George Mann gathers it. So Mike Riley gets up, beg your pardon, Ian Pickavance gets up very gingerly. So it can't afford any more injuries. Been riddled with injuries this season. Rapati in the clear there, they're lining up. Griffiths is with him. Griffiths, will he squeeze into the corner? Yes, superb try. Let's hope that's the injection that the Saints needed to bring them in to further action. John Griffiths' first try of the season. Excellent break there by Tia Rapati. Class stamped all through him. He drew the Leigh defence in there. They all took the dummy. Rapati scooted through the gap and John Griffiths in support held off the Leigh defence. touchdown in the corner. As you can see, only a couple of metres in. Extends the Saints lead to 22-10. Ian Connor back on now, and Ian Pickermans has come off. "64 minutes gone. Tommy Martin, left-footed kicker. Difficult conversion. Across the face of the posts. 22-10 the score. 3 goals to Martin, 4 tries to the Saints. Lyon, Riley, Rapati and Griffiths. Let's hope the Saints can build on this with that extra try there. The Saints' first try took them 23 minutes of the second half to penetrate the Leigh line. Tight Leigh defence. Close the Saints down. Obviously, you can only play as well as the opposition will let you. And the tackling has been exceptional this afternoon. David Lyon gathers that ball via the post. Beavers at dummy half into Connor. Runs hard and straight with Connor. O'Donnell inside there. Nickel coming onto a short ball from Cooper, but well clamped there by Baldwin, the substitute. Nickel just turning the tackle, looking to release. Adam Fogarty now, moving over to the main stand side. Saints in the lead, 22 points to 10. Now with O'Donnell, chipped it high. O'Donnell and Martin follow it through. Can O'Donnell? Well, he takes the man. Hanger took the ball and O'Donnell took, well, that's a penalty, that is a penalty. Hanger should be penalised, and he's been sent off. He's been sent off. Dean Hanger, a minute of impetuousness, and Hanger is sent off. Saints play it quickly. Beavers gathers the ball. So Leigh down to 12 men. Usually when you have a man less, it makes you play all that better, but let's hope the Saints can capitalise on this. 1 man down. Hanger sent off for an indiscretion. Sonny Nickel driving for the line. Diagonal run. Timmy Street all over him there. Finally gets into the ground. Quarter of an hour of the game remaining, or just less. Saints, Cooper, Rapati, cut out ball to man, and to Lyon, yes! Lyon goes in behind the sticks. Well, this is what you've got to do to these sides, you've got to punish them. Saints going behind the sticks, David Lyon in for his second. Well, Hanger is coming to the dugout, but I thought he'd been sent off. He must only be in the sin bin, because if he's been sent off completely from the field of play, the man should be down the tunnel and off the field of play altogether. So he must be sin binned. We saw referee give the card. Tommy Martin looking for the conversion. (28-10). So if he's only in the sin bin, Hanger will get on for the last 4 minutes. But a brilliant kick by Gus O'Donnell, chipped it through. Tommy Martin also following it up. Dean Hanger was tackled. He took exception to the tackle. It was a hard one. There's no danger about that when we are playing the old body contact sport. He lifted his leg up on the Saints tacklers. I think it was Tommy Martin, and was duly sin-bin for it. Lyon kicks the ball upfield after Leigh had restarted there. Finds touch 30 metres from the leigh try line. There'll be a scrum down with the leigh feed. Down to 12 men. Saints capitalised there. They scored a try while the man was off, and let's hope it's one of a few more. Leigh come up with scrum possession. You can't afford to let up on these sides. 28 points to 10. It seems a healthy lead. Well, good ball handling there. Good tackle by Beavers on Scott Martin. Hanson along the line there. Donahue, Pendlebury, he tries to straighten up. Baldwin takes it. Donahue thought it was his, but Baldwin nipped in, took possession. Donahue again, straightens up. Last tackle of the sequence for Leigh. Chipped through there by Gunning. Just finds touch in the field of play. Saints head and ball. 28-10 in the lead, and Saints been guilty in quite a few seasons prior of lacking the killer instinct, in my opinion. Once they get a team on the right, they should pummel into them there. Well, is it going to be another one in the sin bin? Hanson there going in with the shoulder. Saints win scrum possession. Griffiths comes through. Good break onto Rapati. Looking for support on his right. The hard work done there. Now Fogarty taking the ball up. Taken down by Pendlebury. If Saints get a healthy lead, sometimes they have eased off, whereas they should pummel them. Les Quirk can't beat David Hill. Well, Hanson over the top. That's what they call the flopper. The man was already tackled, and Hanson going in, so incurring the referee's wrath twice in quick succession. Penalty to the Saints. Russ O'Donnell feeds it up for Ian Connor. Gains a valuable 10 metres. Saints bring it blindside. Griffiths on to Cooper. Cooper look for that half gap. He brings it up to the 20-metre line. Saints supporters get behind the team. Steve Prescott limbering up, looking for the last, 8 or 9 minutes. Sonny Nicol, a lovely ball onto Nicol. Can he whip in? He can. Yes, Nicol touches down. This is the strong running that we know Sonny Nicol can produce. A lovely slip ball there by the Saints. Nicol running onto it at pace. Waltzed past 2 Leigh defenders, bounced off them, went over for another, and touchdown just to the right of the sticks. 8 minutes to the final hooter. Saints extend the lead to 32 points to 10, and that looks a lot better now, doesn't it?
Don't forget you're doing it for Leigh.
Tommy Martin to convert this Nicol try. He does so. 34 points to 10. And unfortunately the Leigh commentator couldn't attend today, and I've been drafted in, and Leigh are going to get their version of this game. I'm sure they'll be impressed with it, won't they? (34-10), Martin's 5th goal. Only hope Steve Sims realises when he watches this video how totally impartial I am. I don't care who wins as long as they're in red and white, and the Saints, especially when they're playing at home anyway, they'll be in the red and white, won't they? Saints bringing it blindside. Capitalised on the, well, Fogarty breaking through, looking for support. He looked to the right and Beavers was on the left. But obviously Saints capitalising on the Leigh one man down with Hanger sent off to the sin bin. Rapati there streaking through. Gus O'Donnell attacked in half back. Cooper onto Sonny Nicol. Has to take the tackle of Pendlebury, I think it is. It is. And Saints now start again. Gus O'Donnell puts a high one up, doesn't gain much forward yardage. Hansen takes it well. David Hill. He's lost possession on the first tackle. George Mann brings it blindside. Well, it's going to be 6 again. Les Quirk does well, covers it with his body. It bounced off David Hill. And I think Les Quirk's just been winded. As he fell on the ball and David Hill fell on him to complete the tackle, and it looks as though Les Quirk's just been winded. 5 minutes remaining. Phil Beaver just knows it's a leg injury, I think. Ian Connor. Well, Steve Prescott's going to be introduced for 5 minutes, the last 5 minutes. Good lad, this Prescott. Rave reports in the A-team. Personally, I would have liked to have seen him start the game in the centre berth. Plays most of his rugby at full back in the A-team. Links up well. Sonny Nicol has the ball for the Saints. He feeds it inside. The ball's kicked through by Baldwin. Mike Riley covers up. The tackle count wave clean. And Saints have possession. Rapati out to Shane Cooper. He straightens up. Back to Les Quirk. Fully fit. Gets the Cumberland fling. Off. Standoff gunning. Beavers brings it blindside. Griffiths out to George Mann. Griffiths looped round him, but George Mann just couldn't release it. Now Rapati. Hanger back on for the remaining 4 minutes. Gus O'Donnell chips it through. Booth should gather it. He does so right in the far corner. Saints move up quickly and they've got to hold Leigh up there. Well, Crossfield running. I think it's Hanger, but he's well clamped there. Griffiths and Les Quirk. David Hill taking the tackle. Connor moved in quickly. Looks as though Rapati is going to be brought off. Leigh in possession, trailing by 34 points to 10. Held in their own 20-metre area. Last tackle for Leigh. Rapati comes off and young Prescott comes on. Three minutes plus any stoppage time. Well, he can't, he's not been replaced yet. Let's see Rapati. Obviously we've got to make it all right with referee Holdsworth. As Sonny Nicol powers through, throws the ball away unfortunately. Tommy Martin follows it up. The referee says it's a forward pass. Now the substitution can take place. Rapati comes off. First game back after an Achilles tendon injury. No, John Griffiths has been brought off. Well, the Griffiths, it looks as though he's got a knock on the bridge of the nose. So Rapati is back on. John Griffiths receiving treatment. Jason Donoghue looking for support. Cooper brings him down. Acting half back there was Rowley. Long cut out ball onto the far side. The Leigh man dove for it and he's forced into touch on the far side. Solid gang tackling by the Saints. Scrum down, Saints speed. Shane Cooper will go to scrum half. He feeds the scrum. Oh no, Tommy Martin's going to feed the scrum, I beg your pardon. So Martin to feed. The scrum wheels. Scrum possession. Rapati gathers it, looks for that half gap and finds it, juggles with the ball, but it goes back. Well, I thought it had gone back, but referee Holdsworth didn't. Still 34-10. It's all done and dusted now. The Saints' second win of the season. Lost away to OKR and Warrington, winning at home to Salford. Lofted ball there. Meant for David Hill, but nowhere near him. Relieved the pressure a little bit for the Saints. Possibly the last scrum of the match. Referee Holdsworth gets his scrum packed to his liking. Tommy Martin feeds, brings it into Tia Rapati. Hanger comes in, completes the tackle along with Baldwin. Saints last throw of the dice. Beavers. David Lyon attacks in half back. Just nearly caught on a words there as Connor takes it up the blind side. Quick play the ball wanted now. Now with George Mann into space. Looking for support. Gets it from O'Donnell. Out to Prescott. Inside ball there to Tommy Martin. Support from Beavers. Saints throwing the ball about. Oh, but it's intercepted there by Booth. Well, Booth taking a knock as he took that ball, but looking very sharp, the Saints there in the dying seconds. Leigh down to 12 men again with Booth being treated as Collier comes through. Leigh moving quickly, overlap for them. Hanger in again, good ball up to Scott Martin and Leigh squeeze into the corner. Good try again from Leigh. Right at the death. Martin, the loose forward, playing in the centre berth with Baldwin coming on. Came through well there, but Hanger involved again. Hanger scored the try in the opening try of the second half, and he was involved in what's going to be the closing try of the second half. But the Leigh player injured there, being treated in that movement. Well, the physio calling for a stretcher, and I think it's, if I'm not mistaken, I think it's Dean Hanger that's flat out there. Incurred the referee's wrath, had 10 minutes in the sin bin. Instrumental in that movement there, coming through, linking up with his backs as the extra man. Slipped it out to Scott Martin, he scooted in at the corner. Makes it 34 points to 14. But he's took a knock there. He's going to be stretchered off. Sympathetic round of applause as he's lifted onto the St John's ambulance stretcher, and the Saints club doctor John Hughes going off with him. So Dean Hanger stretched off. A chance now for Troy Clark to reduce the deficit by 2, if he can tag on the extras to that Martin try. Martin, the scorer. Clark looking for the conversion. Doesn't look a bad effort. Yes, between the uprights. (34-16). Leigh started the scoring in the second half, and it looks as though they're going to finish it. In the, 3.5 minutes of stoppage time we've played. Leigh now in possession in their own 20-metre area. There's the final hooter. A good win for the Saints, even though it's been hard work. Some players back after injury and others having to be moved about. But I suppose a satisfying win at the end of the day. Sonny Nickelback with a try. 18-6 at half time. Leigh looked very sharp in the opening 5 minutes. Hanger latched on to the end of a pace of the scrum movement, reduced the deficit to 18 points to 10. Then it was all one-way traffic, with tries from Griffiths, Lyon and Nickel within the space of 9 minutes. The latter two converted by Tommy Martin and Scott Martin for Leigh, just finishing off in the corner with Hanger involved again. Unfortunately took a knock in the tackle, had to be stretched off, but the final score here at Nosey Road, the second league game of the 93-94 campaign, Saints win by 34 points to 16. Thanks for joining us. You've been with your Saints video team. We hope you'll join us next week. A tough away tie at Castleford. See you soon. Good attack by Leigh. Let's see if they can come away with points. Tim Street. Yes, it's going to be a try. Yes, the man touches down. John Griffiths. John Griffiths carves his way through, creates the gap. It's on to Riley. Oh, super try. Troy Clark rolls off him this time. Saints move it quickly. O'Donnell, Cooper, good ball there to David Lyon. David Lyon with two men on his left. The Lyon looking for support inside to Rapati. He doesn't make any mistake this time. No, there it is. 20 metres away from the Saints line. Saints defence tested for the first time. There's Hanger there again. Well, nothing more than we can expect, is it? Saints can't afford any more injuries. Been riddled with injuries this season. Rapati in the clear there. They're lining up. Griffiths is with him. Griffiths, will he squeeze it in the corner? Yes, superb try. Saints, Cooper, Rapati. Cut out ball to man, then to Lyon. Yes. Lyon goes in behind the sticks. Well, this is what you've got to do to these sides. You've got to punish them. The last, 8 or 9 minutes. Sonny Nickel, a lovely ball on to Nickel. Can he whip in? He can. Yes, Nickel touches down.
Saints flying again, but that's how the bottom of the table looks. Leigh without a point to their name. Widnes also struggling. Oldham play Sheffield today, and Salford are in the big one with Leeds. Both 3 o'clock kickoffs. And you've got to say that since Jonathan Davis was in the studio, he's not looked back, has he? I was
going to say, we've got the big hitters coming up, but who do you think's the king of the big kickers?
Jonathan will go mad. I think Frano Bottiger, for sheer consistency, is the best.
Just for my own peace of mind, will you investigate that over the next couple of weeks?
Absolutely, no problem. Yeah, no problem. We'll do that.
Okay.
Might be better than both of them.
A man who I never realised had a head for heights, but proving it there. Just to